Yo, what's up guys? My name is Becca Nenza and you're welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Canon EOS R. Cue epic B-roll. And we're back. Hope you enjoyed that little sequence I made. That's some epic B-roll of the Canon EOS R. And today we're going to be reviewing the camera because I've had it for a while now, almost a year. So I have a pretty good idea of what I like and what I do not like about the camera. So let's get down to the specs of this camera. The EOS R features a 30.3 megapixel full-frame CMOS sensor. Yeah, which means it can rival that of the 5D Mark IV and the other 5D series. This camera does 8 frames per second on single shot, but that's for pictures, and it does 5 frames per second on servo mode, which is continuous tracking, and that's pretty decent. It has Canon's dual pixel autofocus, and this particular camera, that's the EOS R, features over 5,000 focus points, 5,655 to be precise, meaning you can pinpoint any dot on the screen or in the viewfinder and get like a single spot of focus. And that's amazing. That's mind-blowing. That's crazy. The EOS R has an electronic viewfinder, which means whatever your exposure settings are in real time, the viewfinder will replicate it. So gone are the days where you have to take a picture and then look at the result to see if it's properly exposed. In addition to the electronic viewfinder, this camera also has a swivel touchscreen LCD that displays your pictures in the clearest of, it's pretty clear. Now let's move on to the video aspect of this camera. On video mode, the EOS R can do about 30 frames and 60 frames per second on 1080p. It can also do 30 frames per second on 4K. And lastly, it can also do 120 frames per second, but only on 720p. Another outstanding video feature of the EOS R is its ability to shoot 8 or 10-bit C-Log. C-Log meaning Canon's flat profile. So what that means is, as a filmmaker or as a YouTuber or as a video creator, you now have more power to alter how your video looks like in post. So that's it for the most notable specs of the EOS R. Now for the full review. Now the full review of the EOS R is where I'll tell you the parts I like or my experience so far using this camera. And I've been using it for almost a year now, so I think I have a pretty good idea of what I like and what I do not like about the camera. So let's start with my likes. Off the top of my head, my favorite feature, like getting this camera out of the box, my favorite feature straight up was the eye tracking autofocus. So a bit more about the eye tracking focus. When you switch it on, a little box appears over the eyes of the subject, and that box is what follows the subject as he moves around, or he or she moves around, ensuring you have perfect focus all the time. Now, another feature I love so much about this camera is its ability to shoot 8 or 10-bit C-Log. Like I said earlier, the EOS R allows you to shoot on a flat profile, which is Canon's C-Log. So my first encounter with a flat profile, that's a C-Log profile, was with the Canon EOS R. And I have to say, at first I didn't know what I was doing, but after a few trials, I got the hang of it. And since then, it's been bliss all through. There's one thing, how you take pictures on RAW and then in post, you have the ability to change whatever you need to change, increase the saturations, the highlights, everything. That's basically the same thing with the C-Log on video mode. It allows you to manipulate the exposure perfectly. The clarity, the highlights, the shadows, the midtones, everything. So that's the power, or that's the range that C-Log offers. And that's pretty cool if you ask me. Now, switching over to the EOS R, I was presented with a problem. I had a bunch of EF lenses, but now I had a new camera which only uses RF lenses. So what could I have done, or what should I have done? Well, the answer is simple. Canon developed an EF mount which allowed you adapt your EF lenses to the RF mount, and that's been amazing. So I didn't have to spend a ton of money in buying new lenses and stuff. I just had to buy the adapter which allowed me to convert my EF lenses to the RF mount, and that's what I've been using ever since. Okay, so you've heard all the things I love about this camera. That's my likes. Now time for you to hear the dislikes. Now, talking about what I don't like about this camera, if I'm going to be totally honest, I can't list up to 3 things I don't like about this camera. That's to show you how good it is. The EOS R was developed in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, and it was Canon's first attempt at a full-frame mirrorless camera. Now, being their first lineup in the R series, you expect a lot of flaws, obviously. But to my greatest amazement, the flaws on this camera are next to none. Off the top of my head, I can only think of two things that fell short in the EOS R. And the first one is the fact that if you're shooting on 4K, it's cropped. Meaning, if I'm using a 50mm lens like I am right now, and I switch over to 4K, it crops the frame, it punches in on the subject, and gives you less things to see, basically. And the second one is the 120 frames per second video. That's a slow-mo. But it only does that in 720p. So there's 720, there's 1080, and then there's 4K. So it only does 120 frames on 720p. But if you ask me, that's not much of a problem because I don't do any large productions. If you shoot on 720p, you can still upscale it to 1080p in post. And like I said, to me, that's not a serious problem. Other than that, like, the bar is up here. And like I said, the EOS R is Canon's first attempt at a full-frame mirrorless, which means it's the first installment in the R series. And since the release of the EOS R, cameras like the R3, the R5, the R6 have all come out, and they are like major improvements on the R. So I'm pretty sure Canon knew what they were doing when they dropped the R first. So that pretty much sums up my review on the Canon EOS R. If you're in the market or if you're looking to get a full-frame mirrorless camera, I definitely advise you to consider the Canon EOS R. It works great for both pictures and videos, like I've mentioned before. It's lightweight, it's user-friendly. Come on, I mean, what else could you ask for in a camera? So if you watch this review to the end, I want to thank you for sticking around. Also, one more thing, I'd like to apologize. I'm sure you guys must have noticed my phone is serving as a microphone today. I had some technical issues while trying to set up this video. Well, I hope the sound comes out clean. If it does, I'm happy about that. So thanks for watching this video. I want you to leave a comment down below and tell me your favorite feature about the EOS R. If you have one, if you don't have one, tell me why you would like to get one, and let's pick it up from there. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I love you all, and this is the Canon Shooter signing out. Peace.